already know the drill. We back again with another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So strap on your seatbelts, cause it's all pedal to the metal from here. And without further ado, your amazing host, Drew Billy.
Welcome back to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys here with Trevor and yours truly, DB. We have our sports encyclopedia out tonight, but he's taking a little hiatus. He'll be back. I know Nate has some fans out there. He'll be back. Trevor, how are you doing tonight?
Wonderful, buddy. Spent the weekend in New York City celebrating a friend's birthday. Had a good time, had some good booze, and even did an escape room. I managed to make it out of one of those finally. I'm 1 for 3. So I'll take it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, minimal NFL news here, people. We are going to touch on NFL, NBA. Trevor has his what's more likely take. A lot of people enjoy that as well. But we got to talk about this Cam Newton getting into a brawl with coaches at a 7-on-7 youth game. Did you have any other backstory on this? I have not been able to gather any more.
Other than Cam Newton just periodically getting into these incidents and somehow coming out of it on the other side, smiling and looking like $1 million. Well, maybe not $1 million, but looking how he normally looks. I have no earthly idea what's going on with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just I think you said it last night in our conversation. 6'5", 260. That's not a guy you want to fuck with. No, DB, I was honestly thinking this myself. If our sports encyclopedia, as you call them, were here, us three combined with two other guys that are like the average size and, weight and build of us, we probably couldn't take Cam Newton down. I'm just telling you that right now. He's 6'5", 260, but muscular. I mean, granted, Big Ben, similar size, but Cam Newton, Right.
Big.
Right. No.
Big and muscular.
No, and that's why he tears his chest apart when he scored a touchdown. No, other news here. Russell Wilson wants to stay in Denver. Why do you think Trevor, just put ourselves in his shoes here?
Yeah.
I see a team that's trying to fuck me by not wanting to give me money. What is the drive, dedication to want to stay with the Broncos organization, even though they are trying to screw him out of money?
There's so many mixed messages coming out of that Broncos organization right now. It's not even funny. Sean Payton goes on, say, the Rich Eisen show and says, yes, we want to keep Russell around. He's part of our future plans. He's part of our rebuild process. We're trying to get back to the playoffs, and we're going to need a steady-handed quarterback to do that. But at the same time, they're trying to, like you said, they're trying to save money. They're trying to get him out of his contract or get him to take a pay cut, which they're the dumbasses that signed him to the deal in the first place. I don't know why that happened. Granted, that was before Peyton got there, but still,
right.
There's so much weirdness coming out of that, and especially with the QB market that we have in this year's draft, I would think you'd want to go out and get a guy for your rebuild rather than build around a 35-year-old who's honestly, he's not playing like he used to. He's not cooking like Russ used to cook.
Right.
And this is just what age does to you. You become less mobile. You become less like your old self. And we see how it is with these guys that are speedsters, that tend to run the ball in space, that tend to get hit every now and again. They don't tend to age well,
right?
At least in the game. But you have your guys like your Tom Brady's, your guys like your Aaron Rodgers, who, yes, they'll get out of the pocket on occasion, but they're mostly pocket guys. They're well protected. They know how to get down. They know how to slide. Mm-hmm. And they last into their 40s. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to be going into his age 40 season. Tom Brady played until he was 44. So I don't know what's going to happen with Denver, man. I think Russ has something around like a $50 to $60 million cap hit this year.
Mm.
It's rough because they gotta work on that defense too.
Granted, that defense did come on latter half of the season, especially after, they gave up 70 points to the Dolphins. It can only really go up from there. But they got a lot to be concerned about in Denver, not the least of which is the Russell Wilson situation. And I wanted to ask you on this, Drew. We might have discussed it on PlayStation either last night or some previous night. There's a possibility that, and it's just a rumor. Rumors just float around this time of year. People need stuff to talk about with the NFL. Mm-hmm. Possibility of Russell Wilson being in a Steelers uniform next season.
I don't.
With the way we have to pay our defense and the way we're kind of trying to get behind Kenny.
Well, here's the thing. I saw this. So the defense fucked us. Also, you're dealing with Najee. Yeah. Some reason 6.85 mil comes into my head. I don't know what's really going on with that.
He's going to want a deal. I believe I want to say this is his option year, or next year's his option year. So he might have one more year left on his rookie deal. I'd have to verify that information to be 100% sure. But if he keeps rushing the way he's rushing, keep in mind, he's had 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
Right.
So he's doing just fine in the backfield. He's going to want a deal.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. And if it comes to fruition, the run-centric offense that Arthur Smith is going to run,
yes,
you're going to give the ball to Najee and Warren a combined 35 times a game. And they're going to be hopefully as productive on a per carry, per touch basis as they were last season. It's hard not to imagine that he's going to want a deal. Plus, you're still paying TJ, you're still paying Minka, you're still paying Cam. You might have to pay Pickens pretty soon if you want to keep him around. Deontay might hold in again. Yeah. Where that rumor came from out of left, I don't remember where that rumor came from, but I just remember seeing that and just laughing my ass off at it because there's no way that's going to happen.
No, I just we got to really. I do not want to see, and I know people can comment in the stream on here or on Facebook, on YouTube or Facebook, but I'll tell you right now, if any Steeler fan out there, if I wasn't a Steeler fan, yeah, I want to see Russell Wilson in a Steelers uniform, but
Right.
I think his time has passed, Trevor.
Absolutely. I actually, on the way to New York, I ran in perchance to a Broncos fan down at the Penn Brewery in the Pittsburgh airport. If you fly United, it's right by gate A6. Can't miss it. Great local brews. They just got some free marketing for me, but I go there every time I fly out of United. I ran into a Broncos fan who, yes, lamented on the good times with Peyton in the Super Bowl. But he's also like, now we got to deal with Russell Wilson and all that other crap, the Team 3 stuff. We talked for about 10, 20 minutes about that Team 3 stuff. Mm-hmm. Him bringing, his group of people into the building in his first year in Denver, and then him just absolutely stinking the joint up. Right. Granted, he improved last season. Had a pretty good touchdown interception ratio. Wasn't very productive in the yards department. I don't remember exactly what his yards were, but I remember, there being a comp on the television screen there as we were talking at the airport, and he just, not a very pass centric offense there in Denver. Russell Wilson was kind of a reflection of that.
Yes.
Now, if you could de-age Russell Wilson by like 6 or 7 years and then send him to Pittsburgh, that'd be fantastic.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Yes.
But that's not how time works. So.
No. And just to move along, I just got to say this, though. He says he wants to win 2 Super Bowls in the next 2 years left on his contract. That's not fucking happening. I don't.
He's not winning one, and he might make the playoffs one of those years.
Jesus Christ.
That's the ceiling.
Oh boy,
that's the steal.
Right. But I know you have some draft stuff, and we'll go over to the free agent side after Trevor's segment here. But
sure.
Yeah, any insight here, Trevor?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So basically, what I'm going to be doing every week until the NFL draft, which is, I believe, the last Thursday in April. I forget the exact date, but I know it's last Thursday in April. And obviously, we'll be doing a live special for that as we did last year. So that'll be a good time. But each week until that point, I'm going to be breaking down a position group. Mostly day one and day two guys. I'm not one of those hardcore Mel Kiper types that digs into a round 5 player that could potentially make a difference for a team. I don't have that sort of time on my hands, nor is it the way I make my living. So I'm going to be a little top heavy with my analysis here. But I gave this segment a name, Drew. Let's see what you think of this. So and I know I'm kind of going off on tangents here and there, but
no
I'll bring it back in. So my high school nickname, do you know what it was?
S'more or no?
It was one of them. The other one was Dinsey. The other one was
Dinsey. Yes, Dinsey.
Dinsmore. Yeah. Yep. So I'm calling this segment Dinsey's Draft Dissertation. Kind of like I'm getting a doctorate, but I'm not getting a doctorate. Well, I am getting a doctorate in football. I could get a doctorate in thugonomics, but only one person holds that, and his name is John Cena. So I'm going to stick to the football. And this week I'm going to cover centers. A position that is near and dear to our hearts, Drew. We grew up on your Marquise Pouncey, your Justin Hardings, and we've fallen on the likes of your Kendrick Greens and your Mason Coles in recent years. Thankfully, Mason Cole, no longer a Steeler, thank Christ, which means we're probably going to have to go get a center. So realistically, I think there's 2 day one guys out there that we could take at the 20 spot. And I think both of them will likely fall to 20. I think it's going to be, if anything with the offensive lineman, it's going to be tackle heavy in the top 20. So maybe some centers that are going to fall our way. First guy I want to talk about here, Graham Barton out of Duke. He stands at 6'5", 314. And he's listed as a center, but he can pretty much play any position on the line. His strength is as an interior lineman, hence his listing as a center. He's described as a 5-position offensive lineman and improved much. Dinsey's draft picks. There we go. I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm getting better with this shit.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I love it. It takes 2 to tango, and we're tangoing with Dinsey's draft picks right here.
Yes.
So anyway, Graham Barton, big 5-position offensive lineman, and surprisingly only a 3-star recruit out of high school. So he went from being a 3-star to being a potential day one guy on draft day. He's projected to go late first round, but he could still fall early day 2. That's where I see him falling. Obviously, like I said, he has a much higher ceiling as an interior lineman, not too quick off the blocks at the tackle spot, much better of a blocker in space and on the interior. Works well with both the pass and the run game pretty equally, but sometimes he can suffer against power rushers in the NFL, which, as an interior lineman, you're generally not dealing with those. You're dealing with your nose guards, your defensive tackles, rather than your Myles Garrett's or TJ Watts on the edge. So you throw him on the interior, he's pretty good. Player comp for him, kind of a weird one, if I'm being totally honest, and I had to look this guy up too. Guy by the name of Forrest Lamp of the Chargers, and he's been around for a little bit, kind of fallen on some bad injury luck recently, but that's what I found. And then another guy that could potentially go day one, Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. And you'll like this guy. He has a Marquise Pouncey-like build.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one of his player comps. Stands at 6'3", 334, and his arm length is about 32 inches. So decent length on the arms there for an interior lineman. Scouts say he has fast hands, great recovery, even sometimes he gets beaten out of the blocks on the interior, which is fine.
Yep.
Described as pretty good against agile rushers, and he has pretty good grip strength. Doesn't get a whole lot of holding calls, too. Very disciplined. His one pitfall, he's got to work on the footwork a little bit, and he's a little bit raw. He's only had 16 starts at the collegiate level as an offensive lineman, so he's still working out the kinks a little bit.
And, he's struggles sometimes with the pre-snap penalties. But I will say this, too. He doesn't give up a whole lot of pressures. He did not give up a sack and only gave up one pressure in 2023 at the University of Oregon. So you want to talk about a guy that raised his stock pretty significantly? Mr. Jackson Powers Johnson, only one pressure allowed, no sacks given up. No wonder Bo Nix was able to throw for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns at a clip, right? Because you got guys like this protecting him.
Right.
And a pro comparison for him, a guy by the name of Mr. Ryan Jensen, longtime Tampa Bay Bucs center.
Okay.
And, of course, very similar to Marquise Pouncey. And I will spoil this now. I was going to save this for the end, but I think if he falls to 20, he's rumored to maybe go 17 to the Jaguars, who are in need of a center. If he falls to 20, I think we go get this guy. I don't know if we have to trade up to get him. I don't think we do. He's likely to fall to 20. But like I said, that 17 spot, the Jags could take him. Plus, you don't know what's going to happen on draft day. Teams shuffling in and out of the first round, moving up, moving down. We saw that last year with the Steelers even.
Yes.
I mean, for Christ's sake, the Steelers moved in the draft. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yep.
But no, if you ask me, this is the guy that I want in the first round. Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. If I can get Marquise Pouncey 2.0, I'm taking that all day, every day, and on Sunday twice, once for the Lord. So,
just to throw in there,
by all means.
I think 6'3" is the perfect height, and also 334. Yes. He ain't fucking moving. You're not going to get that guy quick off.
No.
I'm interested in him as well. I got to look up on him, Trevor, because now you got me fucking excited for draft night.
Yes. Yeah. I honestly, watching his film, I get excited. I get very excited. It reminds me of days gone by, and it reminds me of days where a Mason Cole wasn't just letting rushers blow by him, and 2, a Mason Cole wasn't snapping the ball at the ankles of everyone. I don't want that. No. Plus, he also fits in pretty well with a run-centric offense, which is what we have with Arthur Smith. So I think he'd be a good fit.
Right on.
Yeah. If we decide to go center, we could go all kinds of places, but we'll see. Then behind those two, I'm just going to round out the top 5 with these guys here. You got Zach Frazier out of WVU, has a pretty similar game to Powers Johnson, and a pretty similar skill set too. But he struggles in man gap blocking schemes and is a much better zone blocker. If you throw him in a one-on-one against a lot of guys, he might struggle. And again, also has to work on the footwork.
Okay.
Then you got Cedric Van Pran. I'm amazed that I got that right.
Right.
Out of Georgia.
Okay.
And again, this is a pretty common theme with centers in this year's draft. Can fit a variety of schemes and can go to a variety of positions. But again, strength is as an interior lineman. Was described as a pretty great team leader at Georgia and a very high football IQ. And this is a weird weakness to knock him for, but a lot of scouts say he gets over aggressive and he can be inconsistent in the pass blocking game. So kind of interesting. I don't know whether he struggles with like holding calls or penalties or disciplinary issues or things like that. I did not do that deep of an analysis, but I don't know. I think he would fit too. And again, pretty similar build to Powers Johnson from before. A lot of these guys, and I looked at pretty much all of these centers. They're all like 6'4", 310, 320. And honest, I think Powers Johnson is the heaviest of them at 334. So a lot of them have a pretty good prototypical build, and center could be, one of the most stacked positions of this year's draft. So I'm looking forward to see what comes out of it. Yeah. And of course, I got to talk about Hunter Nourzad. I think I got his name right. Penn Stater. I got to talk about my Penn Staters, right? Listed as the 5th ranked prospect out of this year's class at center.
has strong and active hands, very mobile, very good in spacey type of offenses, and he's got good snap quickness. He's pretty quick off the snap, pretty quick off the ball. But when he gets to the second level, he kind of struggles to find his man, struggles to, get around those second and third level guys, those linebackers, and even the safeties. But at the first level, he's doing just fine. Again, similar to Johnson, a little bit raw, but also very versatile. Can play pretty much all the positions, but again, strength is as an interior lineman, and he's still learning pretty much those various positions, even the guard positions. He's primarily, he's of the top five, he's probably the least versatile offensive lineman. You can't just plug and play him like you would say Graham Barton out of Duke.
Okay.
And then he gets knocked for his inconsistent lateral agility and his consistency versus speed rushers. And after each and every one of these, I'm going to come up with a verdict as to who the best prospect is out of this class and who the most valuable prospect, who might be the best steal out of the draft. And I already kind of spoiled it earlier. It's Jackson Powers Johnson. I want the Steelers to go get him. Okay. Especially after you get rid of Mason Cole, you open up the door for the most pro-ready guy at center coming out of this class. Bring him in.
Yep. Bring
him in. Throw him in a run-centric offense. I don't want to say throw him to the Wolves, but bring him in. He is, like I said, he's raw, but it's a strength in that there's not much to unlearn with him.
Mm-hmm.
He can pick up good NFL habits, whether it's in practice, on the field. Bring him in.
Okay.
Bring him in. Like I said, he has the build. He has the IQ. He's pro-ready. I want Jackson Powers Johnson.
I agree with you. I'm just thinking, will they go after the kid from Georgia because of Broderick?
Could be.
I was just throwing that out there.
No, I was thinking if we wait until day two to address the offensive line,
which we should not.
No, I don't think we should. I think we should get one in the first round, whether it is tackle or whether it is center. Although at tackle, I did hear we're going to run it back with Dan Moore. I don't know how I feel about that. Going to run it back with Dan Moore and Broderick. I don't know whether we're going to throw Broderick at left and throw Dan Moore at right, or keep it the way it is, Dan Moore at left and then Broderick at right. So that has me thinking we're going to go get a center. If we're going to address the offensive line in the first round, we're probably going to go get a center.
Okay. Well,
that is if we don't draft a wide receiver too early, like the Steelers always tend to do.
Jesus Christ! I mean, and that's one thing we got in a conversation with. I forget who the hell it was. It was over Card Show.
Yeah,
Hines Ward, I believe 6th or 7th round, if I'm not wrong.
6th, I believe. Yeah.
6th. Antonio Brown, I believe 5th or 6th.
6th, also.
Fucking lost his mind, but I mean, we are able to draft guys at the higher stages of the draft and still get some fucking. I mean, fucking Brock Purdy. I mean, that's another guy. I mean, there's
irrelevant. Yeah.
It matters how much these guys want to work too. But yeah, if we get a wide receiver in the first round, I will have a
highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. The only scenario that I see that happening is DJ advances his hold in and is like, I want a contract and I want it now, and he's pounding the table for it.
Okay.
That's the only way I could see that potentially happening. Even then, I think that the Steelers generally are smart to go after what they need, and we need a center. So
right.
Also why I wanted to cover that position group first. I think it could be one of the more interesting ones. And like I said, it's one of the biggest needs the Steelers have right now.
Yeah, no. But all right, swinging over to all right, next week. What do we got for next week, Dinzy? Do we know yet or no?
I do not know yet.
Okay, all right.
I do not know yet. For now, I'm figuring this out as I go along.
All right.
I literally just came up with the idea last night as we were talking. So And I knew I wanted to cover centers. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just do centers first. I'll get that out of the way. We'll see what we're covering next week. I'll probably go to the defensive side of the ball.
Okay. So yeah, make sure everybody, if you're looking towards the draft, Trevor's your guy. He will give you the insight you need in regards to certain positions, as well as maybe, you could look and see, maybe our fucking team needs this, whoever you're a fan of. But swinging over to the free agency side here, Trevor, there's a lot of big names here.
Oh, yeah.
And these 101 players, we are not going to go through all 101, but I just want to get my bases covered so I could highlight them. But the first two guys, Chris Jones. What do we think with him? Does he come back to Kansas City if they don't work out a deal? Do you see him retiring? He's only 30.
He is only 30, and he's proven to be one of the more consistent defensive tackles in football. He's like a fine wine. He's literally only improved with age.
Yes.
I don't see him leaving Kansas City. Whether they tag him or they get a long-term deal done, he's staying. I believe he's staying in Kansas City. I don't see him in another uniform next year, especially after he helped lead them to a Super Bowl. So,
okay. And then the next one, Kirk Cousins. Speculation he's coming to Pittsburgh. He's not. He's going to go to the Vikings or stay with the Vikings. He's going to go. I can't even think of the other goddamn team. Falcons, some reason, popped in there. I'm not surprised that the goddamn Colts didn't pop in there because they love all the has-been. No, I don't want to say he's has-been, but they like all the older quarterbacks that, are stars. Does he go back to the Vikings? Is he the same guy after the Achilles injury?
That's a case-by-case thing.
Okay.
I've found that out. I've often been on the negative side of that, to where the guy's not the same after the Achilles injury. And I'd say a good 70% of the time that's the case. Mm-hmm. But then you have cases like Adrian Peterson where he comes back and he's damn near MVP. AP was MVP that year. I believe he was the last non-quarterback MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But no, Kirker's exact opposite of Chris Jones. It's a crapshoot. Okay. He could come to Pittsburgh. He could go back to the Vikings. He could go to the Falcons. He was rumored to go to the Saints until they restructured Carr's deal. Yeah. Lord knows. But all I know is he's a very steady-handed at quarterback. I could see him going to a team that needs a quarterback to get over the hump. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd throw Denver in the mix if they weren't dealing with the Russell Wilson bullshit. Denver fits the profile of a quarterback away, potentially. Right. So a team that's a quarterback away, I could see Kirk Cousins going to.
Okay. And then for some reason, this guy's ranked 10th on the list. Mike Evans. They probably had a fucking sleeper season in a way. People weren't really talking about the numbers he was putting up with Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield, his stock went completely up. But Baker Mayfield, I know he's somewhere on this list too. I'm going to get ahead of myself for a second here. He's going to get a bag. Yes.
He's going to say, look at Daniel Jones, look at his production, look at what he got. Look at what I did.
Right.
If I don't get at least that money, he's going to get more than Daniel Jones per year, I think. Jesus. And whether it's with Tampa or with someone else, I think it's most likely with Tampa.
Okay.
And that could be contingent on Mike Evans sticking around. You never know.
Right.
You never know. But at the same time, Bucs are in a weird spot organizationally. They were expected to be last in the NFC South this past season. Hell, they won the division and won a playoff game.
Yep.
Who the hell saw that coming with Baker Mayfield and the aging defense that the Bucs have right now? I certainly didn't see it coming. And again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but Lord knows what's going to happen with Mike Evans. He deserves a bag.
Yes.
And he's absolutely going to get one. It's just a matter of with who. I know he's 31, but look at what Devontae Adams is doing post age 30. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. And a guy that, and many Penn State fans' hearts, one of the best Nittany Lions, Saquon Barkley, for fuck's sake, can we? He's leaving the Giants, Trevor, right? I mean, he's not going back there.
He better be. If he wants some semblance of a solid NFL career,
I mean,
he better leave the New York Giants because this organization has royally screwed him over.
I mean,
it's well documented, and I'm not going to get too far into it, but
right,
this Giants organization, man, they get their hopes up. They win a playoff game last year, of all things. They beat the Vikings that they apparently exposed last season.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, there's rumors of infighting with the coaches. They can't win. They lose 40-0 on opening night against Dallas, and it wasn't much uphill from there.
Right.
So he needs to leave. He needs to leave. I believe they can franchise him again, if I'm not mistaken. So if they franchise him again, which they just might, he's going to be making whatever the tag says for running backs, and it's sad because him coming out of Penn State, his ceiling was top 10 of all time, but now it's a shame. It is kind of sad. It is kind of. Would I blame the Giants for keeping him around? No, he's their whole offense.
Yep.
I've been saying that even when the Giants won playoff games. This ain't Danny Dimes' offense. It's Saquon's offense. And as much as I love Tommy DeVito mania per se, the NFL's version of Linsanity.
Right.
It's Saquon. Saquon's the steady hand on that offense.
Right. We got Thane in here. He's saying the Steelers should go get Barkley. Now that would be that would be interesting there, Trevor.
Oh my God! I'll say this right now. If he comes to the Steelers, I'm buying his jersey right away. Right away.
I will.
Where's my wallet? Hang on. Take it all. Take it all.
He does have a good point here too. He throws in Barkley does play that smash mouth running style, which
he does.
I have to say this with Najee, and I don't want to make it every time I think we do an episode, it turns into pro Steeler, and I'm trying to.
It's fine.
I already have the hat on, but I have to say this: when they hand the ball off to Najee, he does not have that quick. Like Jalen, he's fucking.
Yeah,
you know what I
mean? Najee does not have that quick first step. He's not a great one-cut guy. Yeah.
Jerome Bettis, fucking what? I don't even know what the hell he was. 235, 245, whatever around there. He shot through that.
Yeah, he was like 5'10", 235. He was a. I mean, I called Jalen Warren a bowling ball. Bettis was shaped like a bowling ball.
Right.
So.
But I guess, good point. Very good point, because I just wish Najee would just fucking shoot up the gap a little faster, and right when he gets the ball in his hands, fucking go, man. It takes his engine a little bit to get going. It's like the little train that could.
Yeah.
But he's had 1,000-yard seasons, and like you alluded to earlier, Trevor, 3 seasons in a row. The offensive line hasn't been great, but.
That's what I mean, too. He's doing this with a not-so-great offensive line.
Right.
So, I mean, we saw what Le'Veon did with one of the best offensive lines in football at the time, if not the best.
Right. And then another Alabama running back up for grabs here, Derrick Henry. Is he going to Dallas? Okay.
If Jerry says they're going all in, it usually means they're going all in.
Okay.
So he is going to spend. He's going to spend that record-breaking NFL cap. It just got increased by like $30 million or whatever it was. So, no, if Jerry is true to his word, and he usually is, although he usually doesn't deliver the Cowboys don't deliver the results for him, he's going to go all in. He's going to go get Derrick Henry.
Just the trilogy down there with Zeke, then you have Pollard, and now potentially Derrick Henry. Pollard just getting kicked to the curb then?
No, he's going to be that same change of pace guy that, or, you could have a two-back system similar to Najee and Warren where you interlude the guys pretty regularly, give them even amount of touches per game. I could see that happening too. I don't see Henry being the lead back, similar to an Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard situation.
Right.
If anything, it's going to be a pretty even split, similar to what Jalen and Najee are working with.
Okay. And then I got two more on here, and then we're going to get to what's more likely with Trevor Sakeman again. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Raiders letting him go. Letting Zamir, I think it's Zamir White.
Zamir White, yeah.
I disagree with that. I don't know.
Do we know for sure if they're going to tag Jacobs or if they can tag him?
I can look that up while we're talking.
Yeah, I thought I saw something on that the other day. My memories, I barely remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. Wheaties. I had Wheaties this morning.
Right. No, let me
but
I should have been prepared with that.
Oh, no, that's okay. I just saw something about him being potentially eligible for a tag. I know that's the case with a lot of running backs.
14 mil.
14 mil tag. Yeah. Yeah, that's about the price of it. And you're talking about a former NFL rushing leader, led the NFL in rushing a year ago.
Right.
One of your workhorses. And you're going to need somebody to hand the ball off to because you still got to figure out your quarterback situation. So I would say for the sake of not having to figure out a position for another year, they probably just tag him.
Right. Okay. And then the next guy, I'm reading Thane's comments. Well, hold on, buddy. Ryan Tannehill. What the hell's is he coming? I hope the fuck he's not coming to Pittsburgh, Trevor.
He might. He has a history with their offensive coordinator running a similar style of offense with a similar style of running back and similar weapons out on the edge and at tight end. I could see Tannehill as a Steeler, although players have come out and support Rudolph. The organization has come out and supported Kenny.
Yep.
What's going to be the new flavor of the week next week? Are we actually going to go get Tannehill? Are we going to bring in someone else? Hell, are we going to go spend millions of dollars and bring in Kirkers? I'd love that. I would love that. I genuinely would. I don't think it's going to happen. We'd have to pay him too much.
Right. The way I look at it is you bring in Ryan Tannehill. No offense, Ryan, if there's fans out there of Ryan Tannehill that watch us.
One of the best game managers of this generation at his peak.
Right.
I'll say that.
But I just don't think he's the guy. If you want Kenny to be your guy, he's the guy you bring in to light a fire under his ass. Now, if you bring fucking Kirk Cousins, who, in my opinion, I don't know if he's Hall of Fame, could be, but I think if you bring Kirk Cousins in and have him lighting a flame in Kenny's ass, maybe you could see something. But I don't think Kirk's going to want to sit on the bench behind Kenny fucking Pickett. You know what I mean? So,
you're going to be paying Kirk like a starter. He's going to start.
Right. So,
he's going to start, man. So it's
tough.
Knowing the Steelers, they're going to give Kenny a year with a new OC, see how it works.
Yeah.
Then potentially we'll go 10-7, barely make the playoffs again, and lose in the first round.
Yeah. Let's see here real quick before we go over to what's more likely with Trevor. Willie Parker had the same problem as Bettis. Yes, I agree with that thing. He's talking about Willie Parker and Jerome, the duo in Super Bowl 40. That was a deadly duo. And then what else did he say here? Chiefs.
Oh, by the way, Fast Willie, one of the greatest undrafted players of all time.
Yes.
I'm biased, of course, but yeah.
I mean, just a fucking hell of a. Chiefs are the new Patriots. Yes, and it pains the living shit out of me. Thing. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of old guys coming out to free agency as well. Your Fletcher Coxes, your Tyron Smiths.
Yeah.
Trent Brown.
Yeah.
He's out there. Calais Campbell, who's freaking 38 and still in the NFL as a D tackle somehow.
Yeah. But hold on here. One more from Thane.
Oh yeah.
I would agree with that. He's saying Kenny could be a good QB if he had the tools and good offensive line like Big Ben. Now, I have to say this: in the beginning of Ben's career, yes, he was given, but I'll tell you, the latter part, those maybe 4 to 5 years, Trevor, that offensive line was fucking terrible for Ben.
Even during the Super Bowl years, it's kind of mid.
I mean,
it was. Why do you think he had to scramble and extend plays, and he was criticized for holding on to the ball too long early in his career?
And then I think he's close to almost the most sacked quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, Trevor. I might be wrong on that.
I don't know the numbers, but I know he got sacked quite a bit early in his career. But then he transitioned to a pure pocket passer guy with a great offensive line and those quick one read and throw it type of plays. That he was one of the least sacked. So he's probably more in the middle than we'll give him credit for. Yes. But early in his career, yeah, he was one of the more sacked ones at the time.
Yeah. No, but going over to Trevor's statement here, what's more likely? It's become a fan favorite out there, and we can't wait to see what he has.
Yeah. I'll start hot and heavy into it. What's more likely? Actually, I should say, who is more likely to win NBA MVP? Nikola Jokic or the field? And let me pull up the odds here for you.
I forget what the stat line was, but he broke a record, didn't he? There was something
I honestly do not remember. Like I said, my memory's about as good as an 80-year-old Alzheimer's patient. So
I remember freaking Doogie telling me the news came over his phone. What the hell was it? He broke some. I would say, Jokic. I mean, the guy. Oh, there it is, right there. 14 assists, 14 rebounds in 3 straight games. Wow. Yeah, I'm going to say that after seeing that, I'm going to go with Jokic. Yeah.
I'm with you. I mean, you got SGA right behind him. Luka kind of, we knew he was going to keep up that pace that he had in the first 10, 12 games of the season.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. He was shooting lights out from 3. I think he was averaging somewhere in the high 30s in points. Mm-hmm. Then Giannis falling to 4 at plus 1,500, and then behind him, Tatum at plus 4,000, then Kawhi at plus 12,000. I don't see why Jokic wouldn't win a third MVP.
No. I mean, I've never seen a big guy handle the ball like that.
He's so smart, man. He has some of the best court awareness that I've ever seen from any player. He's not just a center, from any player.
Right. But he's doing magic passes and shit, fucking, and it's right on the money every time for those guys. And it's just, wow. I only caught, I think, 1 or 2 Nuggets games, and I don't know, I can't remember a stat line from that, but just watching his IQ on the floor, Trevor. I mean, he could run point guard. I mean, honestly. I mean,
if he really wanted to.
Yeah. And then you got a real problem there.
Oh, yeah. No, I got to give it to Nikola right now, as long as he stays healthy. Although I will give SGA his props as well. I haven't checked his numbers in a while, but I know he's having a phenomenal season. And the Thunder are contenders with draft capital going into the future. So they're set up very well for success in their future. Yep. So been a lot of complaints about the refereeing in the NBA recently. There was the Knicks Pistons game, came down to a pretty controversial no call. Somebody dove at somebody's legs, not on purpose. I honestly did not see the clip. I just saw the Pistons coach describing the clip in an interview and him criticizing the referees and probably going to get a fine for that. Yeah, so nothing new, right? Criticism of NBA refereeing. That's nothing new. But what is new I would say fairly new, is talks of the NCAA banning court storming. Because you had the incident with Caitlin Clark getting hurt, then you had the Wake Forest Duke incident with a player getting hurt there. And I forget who it was, but I saw a clip earlier today. I think it might have been Mike Greenberg.
Okay.
And I think I saw this on TikTok, if I remember. I forget what page, so forgive me for not properly citing my source here. But to anyone that says those players were flopping or embellishing, get off the internet pronto.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Get off the internet. Quit absorbing this content because you're just being toxic for toxicity's sake, and I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, right.
Nobody embellishes that crap. Okay. Put yourself in that athlete's shoes for a second.
Right.
You want to play ball, don't you? You want to make a bag, don't you? You want to set records, right? Like Caitlin Clark's doing. You want to set records, all-time records. You're not embellishing. Get off the internet if you're saying that crap. But tying it back to the what's more likely segment, what's more likely to happen first? Referee reform in the NBA or the NCAA bans court storming?
Well, I don't want to point out the obvious. I honestly think the most, if NFL took a lot of scrutiny with it being fixed. I think if anything, it's NBA refs. In my opinion, if we're going to talk rigged, Trevor, I know that's a bold statement on this program here.
It's happened before, the whole Donaghy situation.
Yep, good old
Donaghy.
Being a part of a storm in the court that cost the Bonnies a win, I think it should be banned. The thing is, though, and I watched that clip with the Duke kid.
His name escapes me at this point, but yeah,
he's up from, because Doug lost his mind because he was up from that area, Middletown area. But my issue is that if security, I think, needs to fucking do a better job. All right, I mean that's kind of part of the sport. You storm the court. That's always been a thing. You know what I mean? So kind of, I want to see a ban, but I don't know what the fuck, how you stop, I guess, players getting ran over by fans. I don't know. I don't know, or run into, But fuck. I mean, if you've been to a college, you've been to the college games tournament, NCAA tournament, you got all that fucking security.
It's coming to Pittsburgh. I'm going this year as well. Yep.
Right. You got all that security around there. I'm just not sure. Like right when you see like momentum happening, fucking line them down the court, and then make shuffle with the fucking players. So there's no contact there. I don't know. They do it in NFL.
That's what they did. The UConn Creighton game, I believe it was a couple weeks ago at this point. Granted, I will give it this caveat. That one was a blowout.
Yes, it was a blowout.
I think Creighton won by 20 plus points. I forget what the exact score was, but I remember turning it on and thinking, oh, Connecticut's probably blowing Creighton out. Nope, other way around. So,
right.
So the security, they were literally ushering Connecticut players back. They were able to kind of stick toward the bench toward the end of the game, and then security was able to usher them out of there. Right. So that was handled well. But at the same time, you got these last second wins where guys are left on the court, or guys or girls are left on the court until the buzzer goes. And then you got, I will say the first fan that ran on the court after the Wake Forest game ran on there with about a second left.
Right. Could have been a technical. Could
have been a technical. I just watched a clip of a high school game that literally the guy hung on a rim after the final whistle for a technical, and then the referee called the technical, hit 2 free throws, go to overtime, then the opposing team wins.
Right.
The same could happen with fans.
Right.
Same could happen with fans. What do you do to solve the issue other than ban it? I'm not sure. I know that you got to have some hefty gotta have some hefty fines for it, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but I know the solution isn't something that I think it was Jay Billis that said this on an ESPN program. Just give the people that storm the court citations and tell them not to do it again.
I guess if you're going to do fines, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, they fine the school for football when that happens, but generally the fine is so minuscule, and the publicity and the money you make off of that publicity, it's worth the fine.
Right.
So
I don't know. I just remember we were going through a phase of NBA fans being too derogatory, which we talked about last summer. Again, I'm not condoning that. I don't think that should be a thing. I do like shit talking. Shit talking's involved with sports. Now, running in, if these fucking kids, probably pre-gaming like yours truly did, you're going in there.
They're to have a good time too. Absolutely.
If they bump in, if there's any contact with any athlete, I think there should be a fine. I think there should be a citation either from the school or from the local law enforcement.
I think I think the players should be able to sue, and I think there should be criminal charges.
Well, in this case, I don't know how the degree of the Duke player's injury, but if he's got pretty fucked up from that, and he's gonna need surgery. That I'd take the kid to court. You just fucked up my life here, man. Yes, he's a player, right?
I mean, he's literally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I honestly, I don't remember. I believe it was some sort of knee injury. I know they clashed knees, and it looked pretty intentional on the Wake Forest fans' part. I don't know if you've watched the clip, but
I did. It did look.
You did? Okay. A little bit. Yeah, I saw a nice overhead view of it, and it made it look pretty bad. But how do you fix it? I don't know, but there's a big push for that to happen right now. You got coaches and players alike pushing for that. So that's what I'm going to go with, more likely to happen first. Because refereeing in the NBA, it's always going to be flawed.
Yes.
It's always going to be flawed. That's just the way it is. It's the NBA. It's a fast-moving game. And when you got, not to criticize NBA officials, I imagine, they're in much better shape than yours truly, couch potato coach over here. Yeah. But when you got players as fast as lightning running up and down the court, it's pretty tough to keep up and watch everything that happens. NBA is the toughest sport to officiate, bar none.
I would agree. With
bar
the
none.
Thing as well. I mean, it's
that too. They are cracking down on that, and they're cracking down on, the James Hardens of the world leaning into guys getting contact.
I hate that.
Thank
shit.
Christ. That stuff has worked. That's to an extent it has.
Yes. But I knew that was going to be a hot topic.
A lot less bullshit.
I knew that was going to be a hot topic there, Trevor. I apologize. But
that's why I bring it up, DB.
Yeah.
We need shit to talk about. So
yes,
here you go.
We do.
And, it was relevant. So,
yes. Yeah.
So, kind of transitioning more centrically toward the NBA with this one.
Yeah.
I've expressed my feelings to you on a certain coach that recently coached for us and didn't get us past the second round of the playoffs. I mean, my Philadelphia 76ers.
Yes.
And now you have a Bucks team that I believe was in third or fourth place at the time they fired their coach and hired this particular person.
Right.
If you haven't guessed who the person is, it's Doc Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he has a championship to his name with the Boston Big Three, Rondo, Pierce, Garnett.
Yeah.
But what has he done since then? Not much. No. Not much in the playoffs anyway.
No.
And now, and I forget exactly where the Bucks are record-wise in his tenure, but I know they didn't start too well. They started out 3-7 in their first 10 games with him. And we know, well, at least I know, Doc Rivers' history of throwing his players under the bus when shit doesn't go right and taking all the credit in the world when shit does go right. So I must bring this up, along with Sixers' recent playoff history. What's more likely, a Bucks first-round exit or the Sixers finally break through into the conference finals after Embiid comes back and goes on a tear.
Trevor, you're putting me in quite the predicament here. You're covered in.
You may answer as you see. You may answer as you see fit, sir. I will take no offense. This is me signing a hold harmless agreement over here.
All right. I would say I see Philly. For years now, I would say for the last 3 or 4, they're right on the fucking brink, and shit just doesn't go their way.
We always run into the Celtics.
Yes. Now I see that happening. I would like to see them in the playoffs, but again, the Bucks. Doc Rivers has never impressed me. You have, well, at least I know one's in the Hall of Fame already. I don't know if Paul Pierce is. Rondo, in my opinion, most underrated fucking point guard. I don't think he's talked among us. So I don't think Doc Rivers' title was him. Like Phil Jackson with yes, he had Michael, but still, I don't think he has a coaching mind that can project the fucking team.
Well,
I really don't.
Phil went on to do it with the Lakers too. So right. A good coach attracts talent, knows how to manage talent.
Right.
So and I'll give Phil all the credit in the world. Right. But go ahead, talking about Doc.
I don't think Doc is the real deal, and I'm not sure why he is so sought after in this league. So
he's steady, he's consistent, and he's consistently exiting the playoffs early.
I would say mid. I think he's a mid coach,
slightly above mid.
You made one coach.
He's mid to the point where you get hope.
Yeah.
If your franchise has him.
Right.
I did. And then you get your heart torn out with either mismanagement or, as I alluded to before, him throwing players under the bus, right, or him just being very nonchalant about his role as a head coach in the NBA.
And Trevor, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this too. I think I didn't watch a lot of NBA last season, but I do have to say when he was the coach of the Sixers, mismanaged role of Joel Embiid. I don't know if he's very good coach with big men. So your guy in Milwaukee, who's another good fucking freak,
literally called the Greek freak. Yes,
right. I don't get the hire. I think he's more of a guard coach because he was a guard. I mean, that's just how I look at it.
I get the firing even less than I get the hire.
Yes. So I say Sixers could make it. They just need, kick Boston's ass. I'm sick of seeing that shit. And, I hate green, baby. I hate green. I hate it.
Yeah. So are you saying Sixers then?
I think, yes. I think that's more likely. The Bucks could springboard or something. I don't fucking know. You never know. I don't know.
That's what I mean. Like you got a head coach coming in, first 10 or so games are going to be weird. The dynamic's going to be different. And to do that mid-season too, that's just strange to me. Very strange. But the Bucks have oodles of freaking talent.
Yeah.
That they can honestly compensate and overcome for that. Yeah. That being said, I think the Sixers reaching the conference finals, I think that's more likely because they might come in as a bit of an underdog, a bit of a lower seed than they did before, and just have a different mentality about the whole situation. Hopefully Embiid gets fully healthy. We need him back in the worst way possible.
I'll tell you, if he comes back, you got a healthy, rested fucking Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty goddamn terrifying if you ask me. I mean, you're playing against guys that, they could have sat out for a couple injuries or whatnot, but they didn't play the number of games that, or Joel didn't play the number of games that they played, and he's going to be fresh. So that's a little fucking terrifying. If Greg Popovich saw it that way, he would have sat Tim Duncan out all the way until the end of the season and then fucking played him because he was, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
Load management wasn't a thing back then. It wasn't as much of a thing back then.
Right. But yeah, no, that was a good one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and honestly, that's That's all I had for what's more likely. A lot more depth, and yeah, I didn't have as much. Volume. Oh wait, shit. No, I do have one more.
You're good.
I have one more. Yeah. On the NCAA tournament. So lowest seed to ever win a national championship, believe was the number 8 seed Villanova Wildcats. Let me verify that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, Villanova in 1985, and then 11 is the lowest seed to make a Final Four, and multiple teams have done that. So, and we know I fill out the brackets every year. I do a bunch on ESPN, or somebody's got some pool that he wants to get me in on. Yeah, I'm probably going to do it. I'm probably going to fill out a couple brackets. And what happens? Half the time on day one, I'm tearing it up because my 2 seed that I picked to go to the Final Four or the national title, Michigan State against Middle Tennessee, picked them to win the Natty, and they lost to Middle Tennessee. I've only been more furious maybe at the Jesse James catch or non-catch. Yeah. I was pretty infuriated. So, long story short, perfect brackets never happened.
Right.
Never happened.
No.
So I'm not going to go that far-fetched with this one. But I will go to this. What's more likely that we see a perfect bracket through the Sweet 16, like the Elite Eight starts and a perfect bracket is still going, or a seed lower than number 8 wins the national title?
Lower than number 8.
Yeah.
I just think people are getting better with the brackets. I think that's more. I think that's more likely. Perfect bracket through the Sweet 16, Trevor. Yeah.
I am with you. I am with you. Fans are getting smarter and smarter. There's more analytics, a lot of more upfront data involved with the picking. In a lot of brackets, there's a little information button you can click on. It gives you the strength of victory, the seeds, the big wins, big losses, key developments, all that kind of stuff. Basically gives you all the surface level stuff you would need to know about a given game.
Right.
And plus fans are more apt to figure out what upsets to look out for. 12 over 5 happens quite a bit. And honestly, the 11 over the 6 is becoming a little bit more common. You never know what to do with Duke.
Right.
I'll be honest with that. I never know what to do with Duke. I never know whether to put them in the national title game or to, them getting beat by number 14 Mercer in the first round. I never know what to do with them.
And the other thing, too, you got the fucking guy, I'm trying to look his name up. I call him the stats guy. He just has the tie on with the glasses, and he's on that fucking whiteboard just doing calculations in his head. Well, if you go here, Clemson could fall down here, and then you.
No, him, and that guy from Always Sunny. That's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's in front of that whiteboard. That's like this. That meme. Same energy.
Yes.
Same energy.
You got that fucking guy giving everybody directives on what the hell to do. That also helps you with the perfect brackets. So Joe Lenardi, we don't even need to say his name. Everybody knows who the hell, his predictions and whatnot. Did snub the Bonnies a couple times. Joe didn't really fucking appreciate that, but that's all right.
What's the prize if you get 100% correct bracket? Thane Barber's asking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no earthly idea. I would believe it varies by contest. I'm pretty sure ESPN has the highest one.
Okay.
Let's just say you won't have to go to work on Monday. I'll just say that.
Perfect bracket.
If you pick your bracket right. Or if you hit a 15-leg parlay.
Hold on here. What the hell's this? $1 billion prize.
Billion? With a B? With a B.
Yep. Buffett and Gilbert. I'm guessing Warren Buffett and Dan Gilbert, Quick Loans and Berkshire Hathaway are offering up $1 billion.
Berkshire Hathaway. They shit money. I swear to God.
Yep. If you win the contest, you'll have to accept either 40 annual payments, 25 million, or 5 million in a lump sum, 500 million lump sum. So that's after they'll take the taxes out for you, and that's how it goes down.
Again, I get $500 million. I get $500 million. I'm taking the $500 million.
That's wild.
Well, I'm going to put every ounce of analytics and energy that's in this brain into this year's bracket. Warning you now, my employer, if any of you are watching this from my current employer, not going to say their names out loud.
That's all right.
I might be a little less productive in March.
The other thing here, too, Trevor, they're offering top 20 imperfect brackets will receive $100,000 for their efforts. So I got to figure out where the fuck this contest is because we're going to get involved in that. Yeah.
Mattress Mac, that's the guy you're talking about, Thane. Mattress Mac. He's the guy that always bets on Texas to win everything, and then it's like the curse of Drake.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I think he hit on the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
He did.
I think he did.
He did. I forget what the amount was, but I know he finally got one.
Yeah, finally. Jesus Christ. But no, great. You got any more, Trevor?
No, that was it. That was my last one.
Yeah, definitely for the viewers out there, we'll be touching on NCAA news when March Madness kicks off. And then we got draft night that we talked about earlier. But one thing we had to do, we have not done yet since this gracious man here, Trevor, came on and became basically full-time co-host. What is your all-time NBA lineup? I'm going to resend mine, and I'm going to do it again. Top five, full lineup with a 6-man. So if you want to go point guard for point guard, or how do you want to do this, Trevor?
Yeah, we'll go position by position. We can do that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. You want me to go first?
Yeah. I'll let you do the honors, good sir.
First off the bat, point guard. I'm going Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going all day. This is not going to be an all Laker team. Okay, I just want to make that clear to everybody.
Lakers probably have the best or the second best all-time team as it is. So no one would blame you too much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so you got Magic. I'm going to go with a guy still currently on an NBA roster, all-time three-point leader, Mr. Steph or Wardell Curry. Yeah, like I said, all-time leading three-point getter, 10-time All-Star already. Still has probably a few years left in him. Was on the NBA's 75th anniversary team. 2021-2022 Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, All-Star MVP, 4-time champion, 2-time scoring champion. Averages about 25 a game over his career, and his effective field goal percentage pretty damn high, 58%.
Right.
One of the most efficient shooters I've ever seen. It is a privilege to watch him work. I'm just glad he's in the Western Conference.
Yes. No. Yeah, Steph Curry, easily. Yeah, he's either one or two for me. I had to go with. I just like height. I just like the height.
No, that's totally fine. One of the most skilled point guards to come out of the 80s. If it weren't for that Larry and Magic rivalry, we might not see the NBA as it is today. So, one of the more influential and important figures in the game. Absolutely.
But God rest his soul. But David Stern owes them guys. I know he's passed on to eternal life, but he owes them for forever. They saved that goddamn league. But all right, shooting guard. Yes. This is a very hard one. I'm just kidding. Kobe Bryant. I'm going Kobe. Pound for pound, just fucking Mamba mentality. I don't really have to say much more. Go look up a clip if you don't know who Kobe is.
Okay, since you got him at shooting guard, I have a feeling I know where you put my shooting guard, Michael Jordan.
I was going to put him at small forward, but okay.
That's fine. I was in between. I was in between myself, but you'll see why I put him at shooting guard when I name my small forward here in a second.
I don't think I need to list off Jordan's accolades.
No.
I think pretty much everybody watching this program knows them at this point. So
Yeah.
that one's pretty self-explanatory.
One of the greatest competitors. And I think also Trevor, in a way, after Magic and Larry, kept the league going.
Oh, yeah.
And I think after the Bears run rejuvenated the Chicago Bulls, they sucked. I don't know if anybody's watched the Last Dance or Michael's all the documentaries on it, but they sucked. They were fucking terrible.
They were bad until he got there. Yeah, they were. There was a reason that they were picking first overall in 1984. So.
Right. Still don't know how Sam Bowie got picked over Michael, but we'll just move past that. Small forward.
That is true. They were second. Oops.
I'm going Michael small forward. We just alluded to that, but
yeah. My small forward, LeBron.
I can't put him in there. I can't.
Yeah, no, I have to. All-time leading scorer. I know his record in the finals. I know kind of how he is as a person. But the dude's coming up on unprecedented territory, coming up on 40,000 points here. So,
right.
I can't not put him in there, talent-wise, and what he meant to the game in the 2000s and what he meant to Cleveland. Delivered on his promise.
Yes, he did.
I'll say that. Got Cleveland a title for the first time since, I forget what it was, 57 or whatever it was at that point. But no, yeah, LeBron, small forward.
And one thing I got to give to him is he's almost goddamn 40. And he's slowed down a little bit, but he's still got some juice in there.
And my list is pure players.
Yes.
I don't take into consideration off the court stuff.
Right.
Whether they like to play GM or not. LeBron likes to do that.
Yes, too.
My assessment is on court accomplishments. That's mine.
Yeah. Power forward was very hard for me. Dirk is an honorable mention. Tim Duncan. But when I think of a goddamn just powerhouse that I could throw in there, either center or power forward, Hakeem Olajuwon. Do not think that people talk enough about him. Just
Hakeem the Dream, yes, sir.
I think I don't even know how to compare him nowadays, Trevor.
Joel's been thrown around as a comp.
I could, yep. But yeah, Hakeem at power forward. Again, if you don't know who the hell that is, look up his highlights. I mean, he had the fucking dream shake. I mean, come on, watch out. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, geez, definitely took advantage of those years when Michael wasn't playing, won 2 NBA titles. So there you go. There you go. You brought up a name who is my power forward. That is Mr. Timothy Theodore Duncan of the San Antonio Spurs. A Spur for life, 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, already in the Hall of Fame, 3-time Finals MVP, by the way. 3-time Finals MVP, 15-time All-Defensive Player, a Rookie of the Year in his rookie year, 5-time champion, also on the 75th anniversary team. Kept the same number and same position throughout his entire career. One of the steadiest guys on a basketball court that I've ever had the privilege of watching. I wish I could have watched him, a little bit earlier on. I was born a little too late to watch him, but still, man, when I shoot the bank shot when I was in grade school learning how to, shoot hoops. Oh, hey, just if you're shooting the bank shot, watch Tim Duncan.
Yep.
Yeah, and I watched Tim Duncan quite a bit. I got quite good at the bank shot for a while before I became a couch potato. But no, yeah, give me the big fundamental, Mr. Tim Duncan.
That's where I was, Mr. Fundamental. He's. I have to say this, and it's no disrespect to either all the players on our list, but him, Kobe, and Dirk. Playing all those years on the same team, that holds more value to me.
Yes. Likewise,
loyalty. I mean, they'll forever be. I think those three will be. I know we had our discussion about Luka and fucking Mavs and Jason Kidd. It was out of context, but I almost lost my shit last episode. I was like, "Are you?" Okay.
I knew that would be a trigger moment, and I'm glad it was. I'm glad it was. Because literally, I say this all the time. I was just able to kick back and watch you and Nate go at it. It was fun.
Jesus. I wanted, and I even said in that one, Jason Kidd, you would not have a goddamn ring without that guy. Okay, so let's just pump the fucking brake. But anyway, center. We're going Diesel, Shaq all day. Nowadays, people will give him shit. He would fucking eat people alive. If he could hit free throws, Trevor, I don't know what he would be averaging. How touchy they are with fouls. How he fucking came through there, dunking on motherfuckers. I mean,
oh yeah,
Shaq. I think he could play in any era, in my opinion. Really, the pace. No,
I'm with you.
The pace, though, I'm a little concerned about because when he was on the Suns, I know it's the latter part, but he was gassed after fucking 5 minutes against D'Antoni's offense. So that's the only concern I have with Shaq.
No, I got you. And that was really the only knock that I could give to him and take who I took, which is a man formerly known as Ferdinand Louis Alcindor Jr. You know that you got it. Kareem. It's Kareem. This guy hook, baby, for a long time, the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, also a Hall of Famer, 19 times an All-Star.
Right.
By the way, 19 times. I think only LeBron's ahead of him.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous. 15-time All-NBA. Also won his Rookie of the Year, 6 times an MVP, 2-time scoring champ. 6-time champ, 2-time finals MVP. I might have already said that. Also on the 75th anniversary team. And he did it. He literally had 2 legendary careers in one. He's remembered as an all-time Bucks player and an all-time Lakers player.
Yeah.
And he literally got the all-time scoring record largely without a three-point line and without the three-point shot. So I'll take that every single day of the week.
I would say, too, I think what's forgotten, too, and I know you and Nate know this, Trevor, but I think Kareem, I don't even know his fucking original name. That is a mouthful.
Lou Alcindor.
Lou Alcindor. Probably one of the best college goddamn players as well.
Oh, yeah.
You got John Wooden and him. I mean, you think of...
John Wooden had Bill Walton and Kareem basically back to back. That's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, but a hell of a coach. God bless his soul. But all right, 6th man, Trevor. I'm going to let you go first on this.
Oh, you okay? Okay, so I went a little weird with this one. I went with an all-time rather than just going like top 6 all-time. I went with an all-time 6th man here, and it pained me to do it. Because this man is a Celtic. But I got to throw Mr. Hondo on here, John Havlicek.
Wow.
An all-time 6th man, John Havlicek.
Holy shit.
Also a Hall of Famer, 13-time All-Star, 11 times All-NBA, and an 8-time NBA champion.
Fucking throwback.
Wow. Healthy as a racehorse, played no less than 71 games in any particular regular season. And we're talking, I think, like 10 or 12 of those, he played 80-plus regular season games.
Right.
Career 82% free throw shooter and 44% from the field, both in the playoffs and in the regular season. Shot 84% from the line in the playoffs and averaged about 36 and a half minutes a game. Steady.
Yep.
Not to mention, he made the 75th anniversary team as a pure 6th man.
Right.
Hondo.
God bless his soul.
Yeah. Again, Celtic, pained me to bring it up, but I couldn't deny it once I saw what was right in front of me.
Right.
Dude averaged 20 a game as a 6th man.
Right. My 6th man is this guy. It's Dennis Rodman.
Oh.
The reason I'm picking Dennis Rodman, Trevor. Hold on here. Hold on. I give him some advertising.
You got another one?
The only book that I've ever read fully. Dennis Rodman's book there. Most interesting.
Wait, is that was he fully undressed in that?
Yes.
Oh, he had a basketball in front of the. Okay, got it. Oh, that's just lovely. That's just lovely.
One of the best books.
For the viewers of Buckle Up with the Boys, you didn't think you'd see Dennis Rodman's ass crack today. You just saw it.
Most interesting stat line ever, had 0 points, 35 rebounds, and 2 assists and 4 fouls. I want that fucking guy. You need a. I would compare him, Trevor, to a goon in hockey. Would you?
Yes.
Would you think so?
Yes, just a grinded out MFer, physical as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, and you fucking get in the head. I mean, really, if you look back, he helped the Bad Boys get in Michael's head. So that's and it not that 1 year knocked him off his crutch a little bit. So yeah, I have Dennis up there, 6 man. I know I'm going to get shit for that, but last year did this with Cole, and Cole said your list is voided after that comment because I had him at power forward. I had him at number 4. That's all right.
Gotcha.
But no, John Havlicek, what a fucking throwback. Kids.
Oh yeah, there. Man. Oh yeah. The more I see, because I follow a lot of sports nerd type of stuff on TikTok and Instagram. I see Havlicek's name brought up so many times.
Yep.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll do some digging, and I was pleased with what I found. I'll just say that much. A white boy that can play ball and play with the best of them. And, he did all that before the 3-point line was even invented, too.
Right.
So.
And honorable mentions, too, on my list, I have to say it. Pistol Pete Maravich.
Of course. Oh, I got a whole list of mentions.
Yeah, Jerry West. I mean, he's the fucking logo still.
And again, sticking with the pure on-court accomplishments, Stockton and Malone.
You can't get strictly on court with Malone, but yes.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. That's why I prefaced it with that. Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Dr. J. Notice I didn't throw any Sixers on there. I left Wilt off. I left AI off. I left Dr. J off. I left those guys off. You mentioned Dirk, Ray Allen, Steve Nash. I left Magic off of mine. You obviously have them on yours, thankfully. And a guy that doesn't get a lot of love that probably should, revolutionized or reinvigorated basketball in New York City, Patrick Ewing.
That as well, yes.
Yeah. And another one that doesn't get mentioned as often as he should in all-time conversations, a guy that revolutionized the game back in his day, Mr. Oscar Robertson. Big O.
Yep, Big O. I would say, too, you have to. You just – the 92 Dream Teams, you got Scotty, you got Chris Mullin. I mean, that whole 92 team is fuck. I mean, team full of Hall of Famers. I mean, Jesus, the team – they were they were put into the Hall of Fame individually, but then the fucking team they had to get them as proud as so. I mean, I don't know. And also one of the coaches list, Trevor. I'm sad that I did not do that. One guy that I didn't know this. I know you probably do, and Nate, Chuck Daly. For everybody out there, he was born at St. Mary's Hospital. I think it was Call Hospital then. I don't know what the hell it was then, but he was born in St. Mary's. Went on to coach at Punxsutawney. I don't know after that what the hell happened. And then ended up coaching for the Pistons and coached the Dream Team. That I learned that like 3 weeks ago. Blew my fucking mind. I didn't know he was born in St. Mary's. He grew up in Kane. I never knew that. That's wild to me.
Yeah,
that's wild.
How about it?
So, but yeah, Phil Jackson's up there, and
you got to have Phil. The best
Sloan.
Coach never to win a title is Jerry Sloan. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Got to have Phil. Trying to think of other Pop. Got to have Pop. Trying to think of all-time coaches as well. Pat Riley, coach and executive, all-time.
Yep.
Those are the ones that immediately come to mind, huh?
Jordan Rules. You couldn't go to dinner with him. You couldn't hang out with Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan Rules. That's right. That's right, man. That's right. Oh, Red Auerbach coached the Celtics way back when. That's another one.
Right.
Basically any Celtics coach pre-2000 you can probably throw on there.
I'm trying to think of the coach. George. He coached the Nuggets. George Karl, is that?
It sounds right. Yeah.
I always enjoyed him, and I don't think he got enough credit. Very tenacious, defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
Steve
Kerr came into that conversation as well now.
Oh, well, had also one of the most important shots in Bulls history, but no one talks about that. You know what I mean?
He just got extended 2 more years, by the way. So
But anything else, Trevor?
I believe that's all I had. Just checking my notes.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Earlier show than usual with time wise, but we'll be back next week. We're going to see if we can try to get on good Cole Peterson on. Having a hell of a coaching career. Guy had a hell of a high school basketball career. Now he's doing the coaching. Guy can't fucking lose. I don't know what it is, Trevor.
How is Berg? How is Berg doing? I haven't been keeping up with high school basketball as much as I should have been.
I believe they're playing in Clarion.
Yeah.
Shit. Hold on here. Let me look it up real quick. Basketball.
Yeah. Take your time.
Oh boy. No, they're 19-6 first season coaching. 19-6, 9-2 in conference. They're on a 9-game win streak. They play Clarion area, I believe, at Clarion, University of Clarion there, or Clarion University, my bad. Clarion University against Clarion area at 6 p.m. tonight. Oh, shit. What if
it's done then, yeah. It's done.
Do we have any live? I think.
Try D9 Sports, maybe. Might be on there.
Team scoring. D9 Sports. Let's look here. Yeah, giving us some the D9 Sports there. Let's see here. I mean, they were 13-8. I don't think they struggled to. You're gonna have to bear with me, people. Hold on a minute here. We gotta.
We're good. We're good, man.
Got one of the greatest athletes to come out of our area coaching here. So. Close. I don't want that shit. Let's see here. February 27th. Come on. No. All right. Appreciate it. Boys results. Oh my God. Well, the team was 13-8. Where the hell is it? Oh God.
I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. We'll look into that. But we might have Cole on next week to hear what's going on with him and talk some more sports. But Trevor, it was a pleasure as always. It was we didn't miss a beat. We'll have Nate back soon here with the sports and fire that he brings as well with Marcus All. Don't bring that up to that man, okay, or me, because that guy was terrible. But anyways, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. If you're watching later, have a good day, have a good night, stay safe out there. God bless. This was another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. All gas, no breaks. We'll be back next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Love y'all, and we're going to get on the timer.